The Amazing Atheist.
Comedanomenon. Comedian Dane Cook recently said this at a show at the Laugh Factory in Los Angeles. Let's look at the clip. Semi-clip. It's audio only. Look at it.
So I heard that the guy came into the theater about 25 minutes into the movie. I don't know if you've seen the movie. The movie's pretty much a piece of crap. And, yeah, spoiler alert. And I know that if, none of that had happened, I'm pretty sure that somebody in that theater about 25 minutes in realizing it was a piece of crap probably was like, oh, fucking shoot me.
You have pissed on my pistachios, and I do not care for it, good sir. Woo! Dane Cook! I have tolerated your presence on my planet for quite some time now. Others have come to me and said, Dane Cook sure sucks, does he not? And I have said, perhaps he does, perhaps he does not. I do not feel any tremendous urge to get involved in this whole discussion. He's not my cup of tea, but if other people find him funny, I have no problem with them. But today I'm putting my foot down, Dane. I have to jump on the bandwagon and say that you fucking suck and anyone who listens to you is a moron. You crossed the line, Dane. You crossed the line when you said that The Dark Knight Rises is crap. I mean, did you not hear Bane's speech as he's beating the fuck out of Batman? Did you not see the fucking Bat Jet or whatever the fuck that thing was? Did you not see fucking Michael Caine's performance in that fucking movie? Did you not see how it perfectly took the elements of the first films and gave them the resolution that the fans truly craved and desired? Are you fucking stupid? Well, okay, of course you're stupid. You're Dane Cook. The real tragedy here is that Dane Cook wasn't in that Aurora movie theater when the gunman started busting shots, because then Anderson Cooper could have got on CNN and said, hey America, how's it going? It's me, Anderson Cooper. I got some good news, but first I got some bad news. The bad news is that 12 people were gunned down in a movie theater. The good news is one of them was Dane Cook. That's right, everybody. Our national nightmare is finally fucking over. I really am a lot more upset that Dane Cook said The Dark Knight Rises is crap than I am him making a joke at the expense of the shooting victims. But that's kind of like me, I'm always having the wrong reaction to things like that. Like, I remember one time my mom sent me a text message that said, South China is burning. And I was like, so what? Who gives a fuck? Fuck China. Could burn to the damn ground for all I care. No sweat off my balls. I do not have to give a fuck. You know why? Because I don't live in fucking China. Then I thought about what she said for a minute. And I realized it's really improbable that South China would be racked by fires all of a sudden, and I'd only just be hearing about it in a text message from my mom. And then I remembered my favorite Chinese restaurant is called South China. Holy shit. My South China? The best egg rolls in town? It's on fire? It's burning down? I'm never gonna get to eat those delicious fucking egg rolls again? No! Jesus God, why? No! Fuck! God, South China! It was too young to die! So don't ever look to me as a source of moral guidance, okay? Because I'm the guy that gets way more pissed off when a comedian insults a movie that I like than when he insults the victims of a very recent tragedy. And I'm also the kind of guy that doesn't care when an entire country is on fire, but does care when a Chinese restaurant that he likes to go to is on fire. We don't need no water, let the motherfucker burn. Burn, motherfucker, burn. I wish Dane Cook had been locked inside of South China as it burned to the ground. I'm often like that, though. I always am the optimist. I always look at bad situations and think, yeah, but you know, maybe there's a way that bad situation could have been flipped around into something positive. Just imagine the headline with me for a second. Dane Cook perishes in restaurant fire. Feels good, doesn't it? Feels good just to think about reading that. Feels good to hear it. Feels good to say it. Dane Cook, dead. Unfunny comedian dies in screaming agony. Dane Cook or Carlos Mencia or Tracy Morgan or Daniel Tosh, one of these guys. You know, one of those guys, one of those witless, unfunny comedians that pander to the lowest common denominator of shit. George Carlin should rise from his grave with a 14-inch boner to cornhole all of these talentless fucks. I think one day, one of these guys is gonna tell a joke so stupid that it literally halts human progress forever. Like, there's never gonna be a new iPhone, we're never gonna get robot maids, or more importantly, robot sex slaves. We'll just kinda shamble around aimlessly like fucking zombies in a stupor, near catatonia from the paralyzing effects of this horrible joke told by one of these dreck-peddling substandard comics that America has inexplicably embraced as entertainment. So my gripe about a lot of today's comedians is not that they're too edgy or too offensive or that they lack empathy or any of this whiny bullshit I'm hearing from my friends on the left. My complaint is that they're bland and unsubstantial. They think that merely saying something that offends some particular group of people makes them edgy. It does not make you edgy. The reason that people like George Carlin and Richard Pryor and even Lenny Bruce were edgy was because their comedy came from some overarching worldview. It came from a place of substance. They attacked the social mores of their time. You guys aren't doing any of that. All you're doing is pissing off random special interest groups that you could pick out of a goddamn bucket. To me, listening to Dane Cook is a lot like watching a baby get mauled to death by a bear. You know, it might be kind of funny on a superficial level, but it's not something you're going to recommend to your friends. It's not something you're going to admit to enjoying, and it's especially something you're not going to admit gives you a boner. And actually, if both Dane Cook and a bear mauling a baby were sexually arousing to me, I would probably own up to the bear mauling the baby before I owned up to Dane Cook. A lot of people are going to say that this video has no point, so I'm going to correct them right now. This video does have a point, and that point is, fuck Dane Cook and all of these other comedians who think that saying something that is offensive to old white people somehow makes them edgy. It does not make you edgy. It does not make you interesting. In fact, it kind of makes you the height of fucking banality, okay? There's nothing interesting about a comedian who's so talentless that they have to resort to pissing off old curmudgeonly white people. And you know what? I'm going to admit to something here for the sake of making an argument. I'm going to admit that I've watched Dane Cook do his stand-up specials before, and I've laughed. I thought that some of his bits were funny. And I'm sure that probably a lot of other people out there who make fun of the guy have probably laughed at some of his bits too. So, if he's funny, then isn't he doing his job as a comedian? Not in my opinion. To someone like me, Dane Cook, and all of these other comedians who resort to the tactics I've outlined in this video are a bunch of drivel-spewing morons who are uninteresting, and their comedy comes from a place that is philosophically inept and bereft of cleverness or insight. So, fuck 'em. That's my point. Oh, and also, The Dark Knight Rises is fucking awesome.